Solar side by side down the straightaway, heading toward Variante Ascari. Turns 8, 9, and 10. Audrex back behind them there in third position. In fourth, that's going to be Salty Boncos. Fifth is Presto Esbesto. And unfortunately, some of the liveries on the car had glitched, but we're going to stick with it. No point in jumping out now. And Solar, who won the last race out there at Brands Hatch, is in a lead here at Monza. And now through Curva Parabolica, turn 11 they go before heading back toward the start-finish line. 17 laps out here at this circuit. It's going to go by quickly because this is a very, very fast track. And there's Darkser trying to get around. Darkser probably thinking, man, Solar, I could use these points. Get out of my way. Audrex back there in third. Salty Boncos in fourth. Audrex having a spectacular run here on this Tuesday. Here they go in the Curve Grande, turn number 3. Yasona. Up into the chicane. Now that's Darkser. And Audrex. 2, 3, Salty, 4th. Delismo, 6 and 7. Solar before the race telling us that he, from what I interpreted from his post, he's never driven these cars. I don't know that to be, I don't know how far from the truth that might be, but if that is the case, he is doing one hell of a job out here, and he's definitely one of those names that you got to be on the lookout for, not only here in this series, but any series that's run, either by the folks over at Tora, any of the races that the SVR team sets up. A big-time contender. Back toward turn 11 once again, and yes, it is very, very quick. Salty Boncos now has been passed by Audrex. Audrex moving up to third position. Audrex sliding through Curva Parabolica, and that's going to give way to Salty Boncos. Let's go to Salty Boncos there in third position. Salty reclaiming that spot, and he's on the far right-hand side of the track, and now brings it back over to the left-hand side as they prepare for turn 3. Looking past Audrex, it's Blister Gypsy in 5th. Much better run by him here than out at Brands Hatch. Presto Esbesto, an ironically average who finished 8th last race, is in 7th now. T-Vrays in 8th. Got to go fast in 9th. 10th is Mr. Biggie, and Mr. Biggie's just having all sorts of troubles here in week number 4. 11th is Futang. Unfortunately, has found himself further back in the pack. And oh, we've got a car seemingly off the track. Yes, was that Salty? No. Blister? No, it was not Blister. It was Audrex. It was Audrex who went off the track. No, it wasn't even Audrex. I did not catch that car. Perhaps. Not sure. But it's going to be Solar, who's still out in front with Darkser back behind him. There goes Salty Boncos. They're 1, 2, and 3 coming out of Ascari once again down the long straightaway. And here's where that slipstream very much comes into play. And Darkser is going to be right there on the back end. It does not benefit you to be outside that slipstream. And as you can see there, look at how much that helps. Reeling them in now with only about a 2 or 3 car length separation from first to second, another 2 or 3 from second to third. Back toward the start-finish line, beginning of lap number 4. Let's go to Blister Gypsy in 4th position. Let's go ride on board with Blister Gypsy. As he sees Salty out there in the distance. Look at this, 1 through 5. Grouped up here in the front, and then it's just a long train from 6th on the way back. Actually, 6 is even in the mix. That's unironically average. It's from Presto's Besto all the way back to 19th or 20th. Long train of cars. Up over the curve they go. Now that the qualifying is over, if you happen to dirty a lap, that's okay. But being mindful of the track limits and not exceeding them egregiously is the key. There goes Blister a little bit too far off the runoff area into the dirt. And now coming out of 7. Del Salguillo. I feel so bad for saying it that way. My K-Mac 10. Thank you for the follow. My K-Mac 10. Great to have you tuned in. Now first through third starting to pull apart a little bit. Let's go to Darkster there in second. Shadow Edge Media, and I'm Dustin Moore on the mic here with the play-by-play. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope this is a good way to wrap up your Tuesday, heading toward that all-important hump day, Wednesday, as we all work for the weekend. I hope you all enjoy your weekdays as they come and go, and enjoy your weekends that much more. But when we can put the cherry on top for the day here with some virtual motorsport, it makes it all the better. And for those of you virtual motorsport fans, I hope this is a night that you look forward to, and we'll have much to look forward to there next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The race officials, again, they'll have the scorebook updated at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast. So that'll be available to take a look at over at reddit.com/r/F4. Of course, tune in early for the finale next Tuesday. We'll be on at somewhere between 7:30 and 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time for the Pit Pass pre-race show. We'll talk to some of our drivers. We'll take a glance there at the leaderboard before we head into that race out there at Long Beach. And again, 57 laps. And it's going to be... It's gonna be a race where these cars feel like they are in their environment out there at Long Beach. It's gonna look great. It's gonna sound great. They're gonna drive great out there. Of course, it's a very claustrophobic, very congested track, especially once you start coming across the back markers, and so that is going to make things all the more exciting there in that one. And speaking of exciting, there goes Darkster through the inside there in turn 11, and at least for now, he has claimed top spot, and he does not have Salty Boncos on his heel this time by in this race. He did out there at Brands Hatch in that little collision, and it was hardly a collision. It was more so just a slight little tap that Salty Boncos had on the back end of Darkster. Of course, Darkster saying he thinks he may have upshifted twice coming out of Sterling's, which had him slow off the throttle or off the corner. And so Salty had no choice but to kind of just give him a little bit of a love tap, and that's it. Darkster spinning. But now it's Darkster having to play defense on Solar. And if Darkster can run this one all the way to the end in first position, that'll be 50 points, and that'll put him in that much better of a spot to move up the leaderboard and have a shot at the championship 1 week from tonight. Solar, Salty Boncos, Blister Gypsy, Audrex, and there goes Solar harassing Darkster. They're on the back end, coming through 7. What a daring move, and they're going to be down the straightaway here toward 8 and 9. And there goes, well, no, Darkster is going to be able to hold on to it at least for now. Salty's in a pretty good spot, though, coming up here. Let's see what happens. They're wheel to wheel in these open wheel cars. They're 2 wide into 8. Then 2 wide into 9, and Solar with no choice but to drop back behind Darkster there through 10, and now down the straightaway they come. Salty Boncos is watching back there in third position, and back behind Salty is Audrex and Blister Gypsy. Everybody's racing for the weekend. Yeah, there you go, Mateo Max. Everybody's racing for the top time. I apologize. I don't know why I put you all through this. Here comes Darkster, holding on to that top spot at least for now. They're on lap number 7, the very beginning of lap 7 of 17 out here at Monza. Clear skies overhead, or at least partly cloudy skies. No chance of rain, and now here comes Solar, trying to steal that top spot once again, coming out of turn 3. Curva Grande up to Valiante. It's going to be Darkster to the inside. Those brake discs are all nice and orange Feeling pretty warm and toasty at this point. Darkster now underneath the McLaren sign, past the Recaro sign, the McGuire sign. Oh, the sponsors, they love it. They love it through turn 6. And fortunately for Darkster, he now has at least well, he did have 1 car's worth of separation. And there goes Solar. He's going to go to the outside now, or at least line it up on the outside through what is Curva del Saligrio, up to Variante Ascari, and oh no, those two get tangled up, and Solar is going to be the one who gets by, at least for now. And we got the dark screen there, and I'm not sure what has happened, but man, we've got Salty Boncos in first, Blister in second, Audrex in third, SFM Darkster is there in fourth now. And as we take a look at the situation of Darkster's car, we're hoping all is well, and it appears so, and I think Solar has ducked out of the race. I think that's what happened there, is Solar has decided he is no longer going to be running in this one now at this point. Salty Bonco's out there in front in first, Blister Gypsy in second, Audrex in third. Wow, down that straightaway too. One of the areas where you would least expect it. You would think that they have that sorted out, who's going to take which line, and then they found each other into each other's wheel wells, which, of course, in open wheel racing is as much a death sentence as you could possibly have, because two objects rotating at a very high RPM, but different RPMs, colliding with each other usually spell disaster. That's what we saw down there on the straightaway, back straightaway. And there is Salty Boncos, now our race leader, with Blister Gypsy back behind him. Audrex in third. Darkster is there in fourth. Darkster has more than half the race remaining, or right at the halfway mark, to try to make something happen. So don't count him out yet. Blister Gypsy, who is going to be harassing Salty Boncos, that could be just enough to slow these two down. And especially at a track where there is so much speed involved, if Darkster can find somebody to team up with, preferably Audrex, who's there in third, that will do him a bit of good. And Darkster has, unironically, Average sitting behind him there. Unironically, Average probably thinking, well, this is a nice little present. Look at this. There goes unironically Average to the inside of Darkster, coming up to Parabolica, but unironically Average deciding wisely to go ahead and brake early and go ahead and yield to Darkster. Darkster's going to take the outside line there through 11, and Solar telling us there in the chat that he's gone ahead and just jumped out. Perhaps a little bit of a difference of signal there in the lobby between these two. And that's the thing here about virtual motorsports is, yes, everything for the most part looks pretty clean on our screen, and we can't differentiate when a wreck is the result of a lobby glitch. And glitches can happen so quickly, and especially when you're at such high speeds in these virtual cars. One little flub or one little glitch, one little hiccup in your connection can be all the difference, or in another driver's connection at that, can mean all the difference in terms of clean racing and an incident. And Audrex there still in third position. Blister Gypsy back there, up there in second position. Darkster in fourth, with unironically Average back behind him. Let's go to Blister. One and two. To Ascari. Oh, how exciting, and everything we could possibly expect here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, and then some, here in week number 4. And there, look at how close those cars are together. Again, it leaves no margin for error, and that's a good example of it right there. And look at this, Blister Gypsy trying to make a move. Blister Gypsy, who had an absolutely abysmal Brands Hatch race, entered week number 4, fourth on the leaderboard, and is looking to make up some points. And look at that. Shooting out all corners of the straightaway. Straightaway is salty there. To the inside and then back to the outside heading into turn 3. Trying to keep Blister Gypsy off his slipstream. Audrex kind of in no man's land for the moment. And oh no, there goes Blister off into the dirt, pushing it a little bit too hard out of turn 5. And Variante Ascari, and now Audrex is going to close in. And I continue to keep my eye on Darkser because I have a feeling we have not seen the end of him. It's amazing. It's amazing how, with an incident so significant like that, how these drivers, especially when their car is not damaged, they're able to turn it right back around, get it out on the tarmac, and then get back up to speed, how quickly they can regain ground. And there goes Blister, perhaps pushing it a little bit too hard once again. Going through Variante Ascari, 8, 9, and 10, and now back down the straightaway here on lap number 10 of 17. Shadow Edge Media, as it's painted on the side there of Blister Gypsy's car. I'm Dustin Moore, and I'm very much happy to have you all tuned in for this one as we wrap up season number 26 of the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. We're at Monza, then it's one more week. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, out at Long Beach. And yes, Long Beach and the multiplayer hoppers can always evoke groans from the driver base, but when you're in a league, things are a bit different there. And hopefully, into that first corner of that first lap there at Long Beach, things will be a-okay. And then we look forward to 57 stellar laps of racing and who's going to come away with the championship and ultimately decide which vehicle is run in season number 27. You're going to have to find out. And we'll try to get those results to you live during the broadcast. I know in the past 2 seasons we've not been able to do that. But I'm going to see if we can't work with the race organizers to get those at least provisional standings at the conclusion of week number 5, race number, what is that? Race number 9? 11? 9. New challenge, multiplayer Hot Ones, where drivers must eat an increasingly hotter buffalo wing with each lap. Now, you know what? I'm down for that. That's what they should do. You know, they have those kind of goofy little intermission videos during the Forza Racing Championship. Mateo Max, you need to submit that over to the guys and gals over at Turn 10 Studios at Allie and I don't know, Mellish or whoever's going to be announcing there. They need to do like a hot wing challenge. I'm down to see that. That'll be exciting. If they don't have that, I'll actually be disappointed, so you need to get on that, sir. All right, here we go. We're watching Salty Bonkers, who now has a commanding lead over Blister Gypsy there in second position, but nonetheless, a great run here by Blister. This is exactly the race he needed here in race 2 of week number 4. Back behind him, it's Audrex in third. Darkser, who got caught up with Solar, who is now out of the race. Darkser is currently running in fourth. He was right out in front of Unironically Average there for a bit, but then has now since taken off. Unironically Average still running back there in fifth position, though. Disco Joint in sixth. A much better run by Disco Joint, although Disco needed all the points he could get entering week number 4 in fifth position on the leaderboard. Mr. Biggie in seventh. Again, a better race by him, but being second overall on the leaderboard, needed every single point in this week. So many dramatic storylines are playing out right before our eyes, and unfortunately those drivers just aren't in the heat of competition right now, so we haven't been watching them. But you better believe when the officials sort out the points here tonight, we're going to be getting our strings and our pins, and we're going to be mapping out these storylines and who's going to be able to do what, who's going to be eligible, who's going to be in the running there in out at Long Beach. And anything's possible. We've seen it here all throughout season 26. Futang is in 10th, Tifre is in 11th, Presto is Besto in 12th, Slow Motion Fire back in 13th position, got to go fast in 14th. 15th is Weiss, Lancelot, Fast Eddie, Modern Weapon, and TFX Ray Devil are 15th through 18th, or excuse me, 16th through 18th. D-Fire there in 19th, and Solar, who was the 20th racer in today's event, has dropped out. Let's go back up to the, gosh, I'm looking for a battle here. Let's go to Mr. Biggie in 7th position. We've got a couple of laps, a few laps remaining here, and yes, some of our liveries did not load up as we had some issues there at the beginning of the race, but we are looking green all the way to the end here. And here comes Mr. Biggie looking to make a move. Actually, it's going to be Disco Joint trying to make a move around Mr. Biggie as they head through Curva Biasono. Oh no, and there goes Disco Joint and Mr. Biggie getting wing to diffuser, caught up, and wow, what a save. That is probably one of the more spectacular saves you will see in these Formula Mazdas the remainder of this season, and the best one that we've seen in this season as a whole. That was phenomenal, especially there for Mr. Biggie, who now is there in 6th position. Cratrim has moved up to 7th. Disco Joint falling back a spot to 8th. Fear the Fun in 9th. That was dramatic. And now let's go to Blister Gypsy, who is now closing in on Salty Bonkos. And oh, we've got one of the BMW billboards out on the track. Not entirely sure how that happened, and it looks like Blister, excuse me, Audrex went ahead and just punted that off the track. Audrex playing cleanup crew out there on the circuit. He's got enough separation from Darkser that he went ahead and made that move. Although I wouldn't say that might have been the best decision because Darkser is closing in on him. Wow, DWM Frog saying amazing save by Disco and Mr. Biggie back there out of turn 3. How can you get involved in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series? It is super simple. All you have to do, the only prerequisite is to race clean, but then after you've established that you can do that, and really they're going off of your integrity that you say you can race clean, after that, get yourself a vehicle built up to the specifications that are provided before each season. And again, it's not until we have a champion who dictates the car of choice for the next season, will we know what those specifications are. But of course, you can keep up to date on all things FM4 over at reddit.com/r/FM4. Go check it out. They'll have a link to their Discord channel, a link to their scorebook. They'll have information on expectations out on the track. And then come race with these folks out in season number 27, and you too could be the next FM4 champion. Comes with the bragging rights and then the car selection at the end of the season. Watching Blister Gypsy there in 2nd position, now starting the blue side of Salty Broncos once again. Let's go to Darkser, who is, in fact, closing in on Audrex. And with 5 laps remaining, make that 4 now. Make that 3. Will Darkser be able to make a run? And as I look ahead of our race leader, there is at least 1 or 2 back markers who are within reach. And so we'll see if the back markers start to slow down our lead lap drivers. And usually they duck out of the way, but they do have a right to be out on the track. And so that being said, the lead cars do have to find a way to navigate around them. It is the responsibility of both the lead traffic and the back markers to pass cleanly. It's a two-way street. It's not just on the back markers to do so. And oh, look here. Oh my. Well, that could have been devastating. But fortunately there for Salty and for Blister Gypsy, whoever that was, they did not come out onto the track. And I can see that was Ray Devil, who's spinning around there in the kitty litter, and there goes Salty around one of the back markers, and oh no, there goes You gotta be kidding me. Blister Gypsy acting as a snowplow. Moving one of the back markers out of the way. That's one of the weirdest things that I have seen. Oh my gosh, and Blister able to keep quite a pace too. He just puts him back up onto the nose of his car and pushes him out of the way and down the straightaway for the start of lap number 16. 2 laps to go. Did I just see that? Are you kidding me? Oh, Audrex there in third, Darkster in fourth. We'll hang out here with second with Blister Gypsy for a little bit here. I'm definitely keeping my eyes there on Darkster, who's going to try to go for third position. My, oh my. Curve de Lismo, turn 6 and 7. Blister Gypsy there on the back of Salty Bonkos. Salty Bonkos up on the curving of 7, makes it look so clean, but not speedy enough that Blister Gypsy isn't going to be able to catch up. He's right there, 2 or 3 car lengths back, and with 1 1/4 laps remaining, there is still plenty of time for a move. And as I look back there to third, Audrex is still able to stave off Darkster, at least for now. I've got one eye on the map, one eye on the action, and there you go. Salty is going to be on the far right side of the track now. He's going to have to swing it back over to prepare his approach. Blister Gypsy with perhaps the move of the evening, snowplowing a back marker out of his way, and now here, down the stretch they come. The white flag flies out here at Monza for race number 2 of week 4. Season 26, and this race means everything as far as the points are concerned. There goes Salty to the outside, Blister to the inside, and as I look back there, the 3 and 4, Darkster making a run on Audrex, but we'll keep it here with our race leader. A puff of smoke out the back of Blister's car. Oh, and looking out for that tire wall, that was scary. Able to keep it clean, and they're 2 wide, coming out of Variante Ascari, up to 6 and 7. They're still 2 wide. Now Blister Gypsy makes a move for first. What is Salty gonna do? Salty might just be in a good spot to say, hey, I'll take my 47 points and not risk it, or he may go for it. Down Curva del Servillo, something like that. Like I said, I'm trying. And here they are, back in a 2 wide configuration. Blister once again hot on the brakes with the smoke coming out the back of the tires. You can go ahead and throw some bald spots on those things. On this last bit of the final lap, it's really not going to matter. Push that car to its limits, and right now it's Blister who has the advantage. As I look back to 3 and 4, it is still Audrex and Darkster. We'll allow this camera to hang out here on 1 and 2 as they come back out on the straightaway for the conclusion, and Blister is running way wide, but he's going to be okay, bringing it back across the line. Blister for 1, Salty for 2. Let's go to Audrex, and they're in third position. He's got Darkster, and Audrex, well done, able to hold off Darkster. He's going to claim third, Darkster in fourth. Fifth goes to unironically average. Let's go to sixth with Mr. Biggie coming out of Curva Parabolica. Turn 11, he'll have 6th position. 7th is going to Cratrim. 8th is Disco Joint. Let's go to Funtang in 9th, and back behind Funtang, he's got Fear the Fawn. Wow, what great racing all the way back here to 10th, even 11th with T-Phrase. 12th, Slow Motion Fire. 13th, Presto is Besto. Oh, and there goes a car into the wall to the inside. That was not the competitor there with Presto is Besto. Presto was not racing it out against that driver. 14th is going to gotta go fast as he comes out of Parabolica. Weiss Lancelot there in 15th position as he comes through T11. 16th goes to Fast Eddie. 17th, Modern Weapon, B-Fire. 18th, 19th is TFX Ray Devil. And so congratulations to Blister Gypsy, who within the last lap is able to make a run around Salty Bonkos, and those 3 points are going to be important. And I don't know, Blister Gypsy, again, did not have the best run out at Brands Hatch, so despite his best efforts here at Monza, this may not be his best week, and if it's not, then they'll drop it. They take the top 4 in terms of points, the championship points, out of the 5 weeks of racing, and that's what determines your overall standings out of week number 5. And that week number 5 coming at us a week from tonight out at Long Beach. And there we look at the drivers as they line it up, and Blister will get a nice celebratory lap. Salty Bonkos just not able to hold him off, and they're gonna like the go-karts at your local family fun park. Despite the teenage workers telling you do not run into each other, you go full bore right into the back of the car in front of you. And Blister Gypsy, I tell you what, if that was not a pass, not on Salty Bonkos, and that pass was amazing in and of itself, but if the pass that Blister made on whoever that back marker was, that he upended off the front end of his car and got around to keep pace with Salty Bonkos, if that was not one of the best passes of the night, then I don't know what was. And then, of course, we had an amazing save there by Disco Joint and Biggie on the back straightaway here coming out of turn 3. Unfortunately for Biggie, I think Craytrim was able to get past, claim that spot. Or actually, no, Craytrim was able to, Craytrim out in front of Disco Joint. I think Disco Joint was running in 6th. And then it was he and Biggie that got into it. Biggie moved up to 6th. Disco fall back to 8th. Craytrim moved up to 7th. And so all kinds of excitement out here at Monza. This was quite a combination, folks. We went from Brands Hatch, which was pretty stable throughout the race, apart from the Salty Darkser incident. But even then, that didn't have a huge impact on the race, although Solar throwing the wrench in the gears there, coming our way as the winner in that one in his first appearance here in season 26 of the not the MMC, but the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. But yeah, keep your eye at Reddit or on reddit.com/r/FN4. They'll have that scorebook updated as quickly as they can after tonight's activities, and that will paint the picture of what we'll be talking about before heading out to the track at Long Beach, and we'll talk about it extensively. We'll map out all the possibilities in that race. And there goes Blister Gypsy across the line for his celebratory victory lap. And again, kudos to him for being able to come away with that win. And there we go. We take a look at the final standings. Blister Gypsy with the what looks like one of the top times. Darkser actually had it with a 143. Blister, though, at a 144. Better than Salty at a 144.5. And Audrax, Darkser, unironically average. Mr. Biggie, Craytrim, Disco Joint, Food Tank, Fear the Fun, T-Phrase, Slow Motion Fire round out the top 12. And as we look back from 13th on to 20th, is Presto, is Besto, Gotta Go Fast, Rice Lancelot, Fast Eddie, Modern Weapon, D-Fire, TFX Ray Devil, and Solar, who was the one driver, and I know it says DNFs all the way from 2nd back to 20th, but it was Solar who was the only one that actually fell out of that race. And again, he was telling us there in the pit lane that perhaps some lobby issues, glitches, or connection, whatever it is, that had him colliding with Darkser that resulted in him falling out of the race, or canceling that race, or dropping out of the race. That being said, let's go to Darkser, and we pulled Darkser into the driver's spotlight, finishing 4th there, back behind Audrex, not able to get around him there in those final laps. Darkser, can you tell us what happened there on the back straightaway with Solar?
He said that I was ghosted from his perspective, and he drives in hood cam, so his words was that he just straight up could not tell where the back of my car was, and therefore ran into me. So, I mean, I've experienced that before.
Yeah.
But, doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating indeed. Able to save it for the most part. Obviously, you would have loved to have been either in first or second. That's where you two were battling it out for the first half of the race. Instead, Blister Gypsy's going to be able to move up there. Salty Bonkers and Audrex. Still, I think after the officials do the calculations, you'll have a pretty good spot heading into the finale here. That being said, are you anxious and looking forward to Long Beach, or does that send some chills down your spine, knowing kind of the complicated track that Long Beach is?
No, I actually like Long Beach. It's a good challenge. You got to be really careful of the walls and the curbs, especially in a car this low.
Yeah.
Plus, the endurance racing will kind of play a little bit better for me as well, just because you get to get in a rhythm.
Gotcha. And really, we've got some drivers here, even those that are at the back end of the longest line of cars, at the back markers. They race pretty cleanly, but out at Long Beach, when you have very little room to maneuver, it can be a bit tricky. But Darks are telling us that maybe the endurance aspect of that finale will play to his favor. All in all, as we have now wrapped up a good 80-90% of the season here, are you the Formula Mazdas have they been good fun for you, or are you ready for the next thing already?
No, I like these cars, and I kind of wish it would just keep going and going and going. But
we should
see what the next guy picks.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Slow Motion Fire, hey, let's see who first to 500 points. Let's do that.
I don't know. It might take a while.
It could take a while, but man, these things have been a whole heck of a lot of fun, and it's been a pleasure watching you and, of course, all the other drivers out there on the track. Any last words to say before we go into that final week? Any shout-outs that you want to make to anybody who's watching, or maybe some teammates or anything like that?
Hi to my family at home, to quote the great Scott Pruitt.
Hey, family.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, hey, a man of no, you talk. You seem like a very talkative individual. So I'm not going to say a man of few words, but definitely thoughtful in what words he uses. And Darks they're finishing fourth out at Monza, looking for a better finish, not only at Long Beach at the track and in that single race, but in Season 26 here of the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. I would say best of luck to you in that race, but surely we'll be talking to you beforehand, and so we'll speak with you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Catch you later, man.
All right, there was Darkser, and I see Racer X's brother. We're going to try this. Racer X's brother has kind of hung out in the driver's spotlight a couple times. Who are you, sir or man?
Hey, I'm D-Fire 999.
You're D-Fire, okay. D-Fire, yeah. Tell us, I think you had some bad luck maybe there at Brands Hatch, or am I thinking back in week number 3? Go ahead.
Both rode Atlanta and at Brands Hatch. About 3 or 4 laps in, I disappeared.
Yeah.
But hey, that's racing. I just wanted to send a message that your broadcast is what turned me on to this series, and I joined it just sort of in blind faith, and everybody was very welcoming. It's super exciting and super fun. I'm learning a lot. I've put tens of thousands of miles on these race simulators, yeah. And this is the first time I've been in a series, and it's super exciting, and I really appreciate it.
Very cool, and I think that's a wonderful endorsement for anybody who may be watching right now and thinking, hey, I'd love to take part, but I'm kind of intimidated. Like you're saying, go for it. Just take the leap of faith, and just know that even if you're not the fastest, not everybody can finish first.
Yeah, absolutely. People are very helpful with the setups, and we help each other with tuning. And I just make sure that, when the fast guys are coming up behind me, I stay out of the way and let them race. I'll race at the back of the pack all day long and have fun with that.
Talking with D-Fire 999. So have you raced with – well, no, you're telling us that you just jumped in, and thanks to this broadcast, and I appreciate those kind words. That being said, the choice here of vehicle in Season 26 being the Formula Mazda, are you hoping for maybe something different looking ahead at Season 27?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge Formula One fan, so I was kind of excited as this shifted to an open wheel car. So I thought, hey, I'm pretty good at that. Maybe I'll have an advantage, but apparently not. So no, I'm welcoming any kind of, like, the momentum cars, where it's not just pure horsepower and you have to drive a good line and you have to keep your momentum up. But I'm also not afraid of the fast ones where you just sort of go in a straight line and tiptoe through the corners and then punch it again. So I'm excited to see who's going to pick the next car and what it's going to be.
Definitely a humbling experience. We're talking to D-Fire 999 here saying, hey, I thought I was in a good way when I came into this series, learned very quickly that there are some good drivers here. I'm the same way. I always feel really, really confident, and then I get knocked down a peg. But, hey, I think if you're able to come in here, race your own race cleanly, know when you're supposed to get out of the way and not cause any issues out there on the track, then you find that your skill level goes up incrementally over time. And that's the best thing about these kinds of leagues, is that it allows you to get better at your virtual racing craft.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so give us a little preview yourself here going into Long Beach, final race of the season, wrap up season 26. A little bit congested out there, especially on lap number 1.
Yeah.
But what is D-Fire going to do to be as successful as you can out at that track?
Yeah, D-Fire does not like the track. There is absolutely no room to do anything. So yeah, I'm gonna try to practice all week and find parts of the track that I like and get some rhythm in, and just try to do my best. And my humble goal this week was not to get lapped at Monza, because I'm good at Monza. And so my humble goal next week will not to get lapped in a very long race. So we'll see how that works out.
It'll be a good one, and we'll see. I think for some of our drivers, some of those who are back markers, I think you definitely have to set those kinds of goals of, hey, let me see if I can keep at least 2 or 3 laps within the leader. Anything like that is definitely something to aspire for, and that's definitely how you'll be able to check your skill level as you get better over time, to see, hey, I'm sticking closer and closer to the leaders throughout these races. So, D-Fire, great chatting with you. I'm glad we were able to get you here into the driver's spotlight. I know you tried a couple of times throughout the season, but good chatting with you, and we look forward to seeing you out on the track and possibly talking with you again there in week number 5.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and that looks like all the drivers here for this race. I'm going to give them another second or two to see if anybody else wants to jump in. But that being said, we'll look ahead at week number 5, and again, that's out there at Long Beach. 57 laps at the full circuit. It's going to be a good one. It could get a little crazy, but for those of you spectators, I think I get a sense from you how quiet you are there in the chat that you guys live on the wild side. Not a very astute observation, but no matter what, it's going to be a brilliant racing out there from front to back. Even those drivers who get lapped, they're coming out here, they're running the whole race, going to get better over time. That's their challenge, and then we'll see who comes away as the champion and what that vehicle is going to be for season 27. That's always the exciting thing. You wrap up a season and all the anticipation of who's the champion, but then following that, what car is going to be driven next. I can't wait. Speaking of next, well, not next on the broadcast, because we do have week 5 coming at us before this Mileage Masters event, but April 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Yes, a.m. Eastern, Sunday, April 7th, is the Mileage Masters Throwback Multi-Class event, and we already have a full grid of cars. Of course, we're still accepting registrants. You'll go to the wait list, and for any driver who drops out, depending on who signs up first on that wait list, we'll move up a spot and into a void if we do have any. We had 3 drivers not show up for our MX5 Cup Car Challenge, so if that happens to be the case and you're on the wait list for this upcoming event on April 7th, then there is a possibility you'll be able to get in. So get yourself a vehicle, either the early prototype car or the GT Racing Reborn division, and you can upgrade those to homologation spec within Forza Motorsport 7. Yes, it's something different. We don't usually go by homologation levels, but for these cars, it makes all the sense. And then we're heading out to Sebring for 90 minutes of racing. and a 40% chance of thunderstorms. So coming off of the 12 hours of Sebring, and I know other race leagues are putting together their Sebring events, we're happy to bring ours, if not a couple of weeks late, but better late than never. And then, of course, we'll roll into the rest of April with even more racing, to include a Sport Compact Series out at Mugello on April 28th. We'll have more information on that as we get through the month of April. Looking at the chat, DWM Frog saying, great evening of racing. Thanks, drivers in shadow. Thank you very much there, Frog. Mateo Max, thank you for jumping in. Solar, thank you for jumping in. Apologies, or, well, sorry to hear that there were the lobby issues for you there in that final race. Racing out there in front with Darkser. Alpha Lead, thank you for being here. Slow Motion Fire, Fastest Ear, Alpha Lead, I just said. But everybody, it's PJ, dude. Anybody and everybody who's tuned in, even those of you who were a little bit too bashful to say hello in the chat, that's okay. Completely understand. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week. Yes, we're heading toward that mid-week Wednesday. Love it. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week. And if you get any more virtual or real-world racing in between now and next Tuesday, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Adios. Goodbye.